Hi, guys. This is Robin Olson, and coming at you with the first chapter in the third section Romanticism and Realism. Well, modern theater, let's put it that way. So, after this big explosion of scientific knowledge and um, a response against the Royal Theater, we come up with these new efforts Romanticism and Realism, both of which I touched on a little bit in the last video. But as you go through this chapter, notice how much of it now is getting to be important. You'll also notice that from now on, almost all theater movements are in line with companies that produce them. They're in line with a thought, or they might have an idea that motivates the entire company. And you start to have a plethora of change. In this chapter, we talk particularly about romanticism and realism. But going forward, when we get into the anti-realists, we have tons of stuff. I'll try to keep it simple for you, but an understanding of of modern theater really has to go to predominantly realism. And the reason we say that is for any of you who have watched a movie or have made a movie, you'll find that these things are true now. And the thing that I also want to challenge you with is towards the end of the chapter, they talk about American playwrights that are functioning largely in in realistic play format. And I want you to realize that, I want you to realize that for the first time, America starts emerging, probably because of film, but also because of our adoption of realism that came to us in terms of acting through the Moscow Art Theater. That we began to produce plays that began to be internationally known. In other words, America is no longer just a set of colonies. We have grown into having an identity. By the 1900s, we have an American identity. I want you to think about that because I've been thinking a lot about different things as we've gone forward. And because I come from the place of saying, these are the things that people believed and these are the ways that it was expressed in the theater, I tend to look at theater and entertainment as, what is it that we believe now? For instance, this is just completely off the charts, but how has things like Get Out changed the way that we look at the horror genre, right? Parasite, another one that was an incredible movie, not made in the United States, but has an aspect that's familiar to the horror scenario. So things are changing in terms of the way that America perceives itself and the way that we as individuals perceive ourselves. Just as at the beginning of this age of enlightenment and the way that it expressed itself in the American consciousness through our Constitution, said things are different. We believe that all men are created equal, whether we obey that or not. And how does that exhibit itself in the theater? How does that make exciting theater? So as you read the chapter, think about that. Your assignments in this group, there's so many people to remember. There's lots of names. There's lots of theater companies. And going forward, you'll find that that is going to be true for every kind of thing that we move into that brings us a new piece to how we do theater now, the modern theater today. But as you go through and you look at those things, understand it's because we have changed the way that we perceive our world. And that's what's interesting to me. So have a great rest of your week. I look forward to seeing your quiz results and seeing what plays you choose to look at in the realistic format and write or critique analysis of for this particular module. Have a good one.